Hi, and welcome to my Week 1 office hour for NT181. My name is Professor Orr, and I'll be working with you in this network and server operating system course this term. My office hour started about 5 minutes ago. No one has joined, so I'm just going to kind of go over some basics here. Maybe get into a little more detail on a couple of things than what I did in the welcome video. But anyway, just want to first start out going over our course here. This is the first of a 3-course sequence on the Windows Server operating system, and so you'll find that this course is laid out similarly in a similar way to the other two, although by the time you get to the other two, they may be updated for the newest version of Windows Server, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, this is our course homepage in Canvas, and I just want to highlight a couple of things here. First of all, on the announcements page, you'll find some helpful announcements for this week, probably the welcome video being one of the more helpful ones. This announcement here on the lab guides talks about making sure to use the lab guides, and I'll cover that in a second. And then here's an announcement that contains all the quiz codes for this term, so when you need a quiz code, you can get it right here. Taking a look at the assignments, you'll see that you have a lab assignment for each week, and I'll take a quick look here at the Unit 1 assignment. These assignments are based on the activities in your textbook, and you are completing these activities inside of NetLab this term, so keep that in mind. As far as what I was talking about a couple minutes ago and using the lab guides, if you scroll down, you'll see that there are 2 different lab guides here. This one here, just the Week 1 lab guide, this is the one that you'll use to paste your screenshots into. This other lab guide is just an example essentially for you. Basically what it does is it shows you exactly what your screenshots should look like. So if you scroll down, you'll see that this looks almost identical to the lab guide that you'll be putting your screenshots in. The only difference is that this one actually shows you what your screenshot should look like. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to these each week and make sure that your screenshots match the examples, because if they don't, you might not get credit for them. Just depends on whether I'm able to see what I need to see or not, but it's best just to make sure yours look like the examples provided. Again, what you're doing each week is you're completing the assigned activities, the lab activities, in your reading for the week. So you can see right here, based on the activity numbers, you've been assigned Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 this week. So you'll be performing tasks in both of those chapters. And you should start out each week by going through the modules, and you'll see that the modules will introduce you to your reading assignment for the week. You'll see here Monday your assignment is to read Chapter 1, then the next reading assignment is Chapter 2, and you can choose to read those chapters first, then go back and do the activities, or do the activities as you're completing the reading of the chapter. However you want to do that is fine. Just to show you real quick, this is our textbook for the course, and so if we go to Chapter 1, looking back at the assignment here real quick, you'll see that the first lab activity that you are assigned is Activity 1-2, and so let's just go through and find that real quick. So it's probably going to be several pages in. There we go. So here's activity 1, 2. So you can see it's on what page is this? 15 of your textbook. So so here's activity 1, 2. You can see that the textbook author gives you some idea of how long this should take you. It tells you what computers you'll be using, and these computers, servers, are located in NetLab, so you'll find the devices you need there. And you just start at step 1, and you just work your way through, just completing the steps that they walk you through completing. And it's just step-by-step instructions. You need to look at your lab assignment and see you're looking at the lab guide is your best indicator here. So what you will do is follow along in your lab guide, and on activity 1, 2, it says at step number 2 you're going to get a screenshot showing the server SA1 properties. So once you get to that point in the activity, you're going to get a screenshot that looks similar to what you see here in the textbook. And continuing to look at that just a little more, you'll see that you have 2 more screenshots that you need to get for this activity. So there's a total of 3 screenshots for activity 1, 2, and you'll paste all of those in the appropriate section here as you're completing that activity. Once you complete that activity, then you just move on to the next one. And again, you'll find that they're all the same. It's just step by step. They walk you through what you need to do to complete the entire lab activity. So here's activity 1, 3. First thing they have you do is signing into the server SA1 server. And then you just continue to follow the instructions there. Going over to NetLab, I'm going to go ahead and schedule a reservation. This is what you'll need to do each week. Keep in mind there are a limited number of pods available, so if you have a specific time that you're wanting to work on your labs each week, then you'll want to get that reservation scheduled. I'm going to go ahead and schedule one for right now. And what you'll do when you go to schedules, you'll come in and you'll look. You won't have all these courses here. You'll just see whatever courses you're taking this term. So I'm going to click on NT181. And in this instance, you can look back at the lab guide. It'll tell you where you need to be. I know from memory that we're starting out here. We're not using Hyper-V yet. Let's see, and I'm not sure if right off the top of my head when or if we use Hyper-V in this course, but again, your lab document will tell you that. So oh, actually, we are starting off in the Hyper-V. So this is in chapter 2, though. That's right. So so for chapter 1 activities, you will be using these labs. And for chapter 2, you'll be using these labs. So I'm just going to go ahead and schedule one here just real quickly to show you what the labs look like. And I'll go ahead and schedule the lab. And again, I'm just going to schedule it for right now. And whenever you schedule a lab, whenever that time that you scheduled it comes up, you'll see the Enter Lab button here. And you can just enter, click there to enter the lab. And I just want to show you the topology here that you have in NetLab for this course, so that you can see the servers that you're going to be working with. So that'll come up in just a second. So here we go. So we've already mentioned server SA1 a couple of times. There's server DM2, server DM1, server DC1. So these are the servers you'll be working with this term. Notice you can access those up here, and to log in you have to send a Control-Alt-Delete. So you can do that right here, and the same thing is available on all the other servers. You also have the option to undock, which will basically free this up into a separate window. If you prefer to work on your labs that way, however you want to do it's fine. You do actually have a screenshot tool in here. I haven't played around with that. I've always just used the Windows snipping tool. However you want to do that is fine, as long as your screenshots are correct, and that that everything's visible. That's fine. So you can always get back to the lab topology by clicking on the topology tab there, so that's pretty much it. It's really all there is to it. Each week is again kind of the same thing. Just to show you an example of that, we'll go look at assignment 2 real quick, and you'll see here you're going to be working on chapter 3. So anyway, that's about all I will go over at this point. Again, there's some other information available to you in the welcome video here in the announcements section. And I guess I will highlight one other quick thing. We do follow the late policy, the Herzing University late policy here in this course. So assignments need to be submitted on time. And if something kind of unusual comes up and you need an extension, be sure to ask for that ahead of time. I generally will grant you one extension per term, unless there's really something unusual going on, like multiple trips to the hospital or something along those lines. I may make an exception for, but for the most part, I expect your work to be submitted on time each week. So anyway, again, that's it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.